Have you ever wondered why some people keep winning at gambling, while others keep losing no matter how much they play? There is a truth that few people notice. Not everyone is suited for gambling. Some people, despite being intelligent and bold, should absolutely stay away from games of chance. And Sagittarius is one of them. Why is that? Sagittarius is known as the zodiac sign of risk-taking, daring decisions, and always pursuing thrilling challenges. At first glance, they might seem like the perfect candidates for gambling. But in reality, the opposite is true. Their recklessness is precisely what makes them lose everything easily. Their optimism prevents them from knowing when to stop. Their desire to conquer does not allow them to accept failure, causing them to sink deeper and deeper. Why does Sagittarius have a tendency to get caught up in gambling without control? What consequences can arise if they do not know when to stop? And how can Sagittarius avoid this dangerous game and focus on the path to real success? Let's explore the mystery between Sagittarius and gambling. A story that could help you or someone you know avoid an unpredictable mistake. Do not miss any part of this because it might change the way you view gambling and your faith. Sagittarius, born between November 22nd and December 21st, is one of the most powerful zodiac signs in the astrological circle. Under the influence of Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, and wisdom, Sagittarius is known for its free-spirited nature, optimistic thinking, bold personality, and thirst for conquest. However, these very qualities can become a double-edged sword, especially when they step into gambling, betting, or the temptations of chance. To understand why Sagittarius should not gamble, we first need to analyze their unique personality traits. Sagittarius belongs to the fire element, along with Aries and Leo. But their energy is very different from the other two. If Aries is an explosive flame and Leo is a powerful blaze, Sagittarius is the fire that never stops. Always burning, always moving, always seeking something new. They dislike stability. They need adventure, change, and new challenges to feel truly alive. Always seeking novelty. Sagittarius hates monotony and cannot endure a life that is too calm or repetitive. This makes them easily attracted to excitement, risk, and unpredictability. Gambling, with its thrills, sudden wins, and unexpected losses, is one of the things that can easily tempt them. Imagine a Sagittarius named Min, a person full of energy, always confident that he can master any game. The first time he enters a casino, luck smiles upon him. He wins big and feels that he has a natural talent for gambling. But then, with the thought, just one more win, Min starts betting more, losing control of his finances until he is buried in debt. Now, his life is no longer the adventurous journey he once dreamed of, but a struggle to escape financial ruin. The risk-taking nature. If there is one zodiac sign willing to bet everything in pursuit of an opportunity, it is Sagittarius. They believe that the greater the risk, the greater the reward. However, the problem here is that gambling is not a game that can be controlled through intelligence or effort. It is primarily based on luck. And once Sagittarius gets caught in the web of chance-based games, they often do not know how to stop. Optimism to the point of overconfidence. Sagittarius believes they can win, that they can control their luck, and that they cannot fail. This mindset is useful in life when facing difficulties. But in gambling, excessive optimism is the fastest way to losses and a complete lack of control. One of the most distinctive traits of Sagittarius is their instinct to conquer. They do not accept being defeated. And this can become a fatal weakness when they fall into the cycle of gambling. Sagittarius does not play to win, they play to conquer. When a Sagittarius enters a game, they are not simply looking to win money. They want to conquer the game, to prove that they can break limits. This pushes them to keep betting, even when they are losing, because for them, quitting is equivalent to failure. Sagittarius is easily stimulated by competition. Sagittarius does not like being second best. In games with a competitive element, they always want to be the leader. This can make them dive into gambling recklessly, just to prove themselves. They get caught in the feeling of being close to winning. Sagittarius is extremely sharp and perceptive but also highly emotional. They believe that if they have lost multiple rounds in a row, then a winning round must be just around the corner. This belief keeps them betting, convinced that they only need one more chance, and so they never stop. Sagittarius lacks patience. They like everything to happen quickly. If they gamble and win right away, they will tend to bet more, believing they are on a lucky streak. If they lose, they do not have the patience to wait for a better opportunity, and will continue betting aggressively to recover their losses. Impulsiveness. Under the influence of emotions, Sagittarius can make very bold decisions without considering the consequences. In gambling, this is an extremely dangerous combination, as it can lead to massive debts and serious repercussions. Sagittarius does not like being restricted. If someone tells them to stop, they will only want to continue. This trait makes Sagittarius prone to getting deeply involved in gambling, not because they love money, but because they refuse to be controlled. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion and luck. Because of this, they often have a strong belief in destiny. They believe that the universe will always provide opportunities, and that they are naturally lucky. But Jupiter does not always bring luck. When Sagittarius places too much faith in their luck, they can recklessly gamble away the most important things in their life: money, reputation, relationships, in pursuit of an opportunity they are convinced will succeed. Sagittarius possesses all the qualities needed to succeed in life, thanks to their quick thinking, boldness, and willingness to take risks. But gambling is not a game they can control with intelligence or experience. They are drawn to the thrill, the victory, and the conquest. But these very things make them prone to losing control. So what happens when Sagittarius falls into gambling without knowing when to stop? What consequences can they face if they are not careful? Let's uncover this in the next section. Now that we have thoroughly analyzed the personality traits of Sagittarius, let's examine the real consequences they might face if they become addicted to gambling. Their recklessness, adventurous spirit, and optimistic mindset help them achieve great success in life. However, these same traits become dangerous weaknesses when they engage in gambling. What risks will Sagittarius encounter if they fail to control themselves? Sagittarius does not easily accept failure, especially in games where they believe they can turn the tide. When they lose, they will bet even more to recover their losses. But the deeper they get, the more they lose, sinking further into the gambling cycle and accumulating more and more losses. The more they win, the more overconfident they become. If Sagittarius wins big in the early rounds, they will believe they have the ability to control the game. They start placing larger bets, diving into bigger games. However, gambling is not a game with fixed rules. Once luck changes, they will not be able to react in time. They do not know when to stop. For Sagittarius, stopping means giving up, which goes against their natural instincts. Because of this, even when they have lost significantly, they continue to play the next round, hoping that just one more win will be enough. But that win may never come. Sagittarius is not someone who easily becomes addicted to material things, but they are easily addicted to emotions, addicted to the thrill. Sagittarius enjoys the excitement of placing bets and waiting for the results. This feeling can be so strong that they continue playing, not because of money, but because of the thrill itself. Addicted to winning. Nothing makes Sagittarius prouder than proving they can overcome a difficult challenge. If they win, they will want to win more. If they lose, they will want to win again to prove they are not a failure. Addicted to the feeling of just one more time. Sagittarius is a master at self-persuasion. They may think, just one more round and I will get everything back. But in reality, this is the psychological trap that keeps them going deeper. Sagittarius tends not to place too much importance on money. But when they lose too much, they will fall into crisis. If they cannot control themselves, they may end up in debt, borrowing from friends, family, or even more dangerous sources. Impact on relationships. Sagittarius's impulsiveness in gambling can lead to family conflicts and loss of trust from friends. When they suffer heavy losses, they may become irritable, short-tempered, and distant from loved ones due to feelings of disappointment in themselves. Stress, anxiety, and loss of motivation in life. Sagittarius is not accustomed to dealing with prolonged failure. When gambling causes them to lose too much, their optimistic spirit may collapse, leading to depression, loss of direction, or even losing their sense of self, falling into other temptations. When Sagittarius feels depressed due to gambling losses, they may seek other pleasures for relief. However, sometimes these pleasures are unhealthy, such as alcohol, stimulants, or getting involved in even riskier gambling activities. After understanding these risks, what should Sagittarius do to avoid falling into the gambling trap? Recognize that gambling is not a challenge, it is a trap. Sagittarius enjoys conquering challenges. But gambling is not a challenge that can be won with intelligence or strategy. It is a game designed to make you lose. And no Sagittarius can control it. Learn to control emotions. Remember that momentary emotions are not always the truth. When Sagittarius feels the urge to gamble just for the thrill, they need to stop, take a deep breath, and think about the consequences. Focus on challenges that bring real value, instead of seeking excitement in gambling. Sagittarius can channel their passion into business, investing, or learning new skills. These areas satisfy their adventurous spirit while also providing real value. Set strict limits for themselves. If Sagittarius truly wants to test their luck, they should set strict limits on the time and money they are willing to lose. Most importantly, they must have the discipline to stop immediately upon reaching that limit. Always remember, luck cannot replace effort. Sagittarius often believes in luck, but their greatest successes have never come from chance. They have come from intelligence, determination, and courage. Gambling is not the place for Sagittarius to prove their strength. No victory truly belongs to Sagittarius in a game they cannot control. They should channel their energy into conquering real challenges, ones where their intelligence, creativity, and determination can shine. Have you ever been drawn to games of chance? What do you think about the impact of gambling on Sagittarius? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Sagittarius, you were not born to be a gambler. You were born to explore the world, to write your own story, to break every limit. But do you realize that just one small mistake could bury everything you have built? You may be a risk taker, someone who challenges fate. But there is one truth you must face. Gambling is not an adventure. It is a trap. You know that Sagittarius thrives on challenges, seeks excitement. And gambling is something that can strike your weakest spot perfectly. When you win, you feel thrilled and proud. Because you believe in your skills, your sharp intuition, and that you have the right time, the right place, and the right opportunity. When you lose, you will not easily accept it. Because your personality does not allow you to be defeated. You want to play more, to prove that you are good enough to win everything back. But then, what happens? You walk into a casino with 1 million, thinking you are just playing for fun. But when you walk out, your account is empty. Or worse, you're left with a debt you have no idea how to repay. Sagittarius, do not gamble with your fate. No one wins forever. But many have lost everything simply because they did not know when to stop. You believe you are a zodiac sign protected by Jupiter, the planet of luck. You believe that even if you lose today, tomorrow your luck will return. But here is the truth. Your luck may help you find great opportunities in life, but it cannot help you win a game that you cannot control. Sagittarius, you are a creator, a trendsetter, a pioneer who opens new paths. But gambling is a cycle that you cannot break free from. The more you play, the deeper you sink. The deeper you sink, the more you lose control. The more you lose control, the easier it is to lose yourself. You believe that you can master the game. But no. You are just a pawn on the chessboard of those who know how to manipulate your psychology. You were not born to be trapped in games of chance. You were born to create opportunities, not to sit and wait for luck. If you stop relying on gambling, you will gain something far more valuable, freedom. Instead of throwing your money into bets, invest in yourself. Learn a new skill. Start a personal project. Travel and explore the world, true to the spirit of Sagittarius. Instead of gambling with fate, create your own future. If you have 1 million to gamble, use it to start a small investment fund. Buy a book on finance, or invest in personal growth. Instead of dreaming of an illusionary victory, become a real winner. A true victory does not come from a single bet, but from taking control of your life, managing your finances, and not letting anyone dictate your destiny. If you love the thrill of risk, invest in something that brings real value. If you crave the feeling of victory, play games where you can be in control, such as business, self-improvement, or content creation. If you want to test your luck, remember that the best gamble you can make is betting on yourself. Because when you invest in yourself, you always have the chance to win big. But never bet on something that could destroy your life. Because Sagittarius was not born to be a gambler. They were born to be winners, through their abilities and intelligence. You are not a gambler. You are not someone who relies on luck. You are not someone who places your fate in the hands of lifeless cards. You are Sagittarius, a warrior, a conqueror, someone who breaks every limit. So why would you trap yourself in a never-ending cycle with no escape? You have the power to choose. Choose the path that leads you to freedom, success, and truly meaningful experiences. Choose a life where you are in control, instead of letting fate be decided by the roll of the dice. Do you dare to give up gambling to pursue a better life? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you find this message valuable, share it to help other Sagittarians avoid the wrong path. Sagittarius, you were not born to bet on luck. You were born to write your own destiny.